Isabella, and my presentation is based on imagery. Does it affect our preference of things? My question is, to what extent does the amount of imagery affect a person's preference? My claim. I stated that the amount of imagery does affect a person's preference. The stimulus materials used was The Looking Glass House by Lewis Carroll and 3D pavement art by Joe Hill. The connection. Both of my stimulus materials use imagery. One is through written language and the other uses visual arts. Using research-based data, I will be able to display how each of my perspectives have imagery and why humans have preference over it. The lens I used was scientific. The limitations that were in my presentation were that the studies were a few years back, affecting the accuracy. The football study could have had more trials in order for equal judgment, and furthermore, there could be more studies to help validate my claim. I have a question for you guys. Would you guys pick an attractive cover over an unattractive cover?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's an obvious one.
Yeah. The book smugglers completed a survey and asked 616 people if covers matters and if they influenced or changed their decision to purchase it. 79% of the people that were in the study said yes, and 21% said no. Covers clearly matter, and whether we agree with it or not, almost 80% of it agreed to it. This is a snippet of the pie chart that was in the website. So it just covers like what I just said. However, before looking at the cover, they also read the back of the book in order to get a preview of what the book is actually about. The covers could fool the buyers, which will lead the buyers to have some kind of hatred towards literature. Next perspective is mental imagery. Mental imagery can be defined as pictures in the mind or visual representation in the absence of environmental input. According to a study done by Sports Medicine Research Center and the Tehran University of Medical Sciences, the results showed that cognitive imagery intervention can affect a light soccer player's performance. One group of 22 youth players and another group of 22 adult players were randomly assigned to either imagery or a control group. So the 22 youth players, they were shown a video of skills that they want to perform inside of a game, and the 22 adult players were just coached by words, and they were put to the test, and at the end of the study, it was showed that the different players in the soccer game that were shown the video had a better performance overall. The connection. Overall, it connects to my theme of preference because using imagery, the players were able to have a better performance, which will lead the preference in them instead of the other players. Auditory imagery. Auditory imagery is what goes on in our head when we hear lyrics that are either describing something or someone. Many artists, such as Lady Gaga, have said that imagery plays an important role in music. She stated that, "I think it's the artist's job to create imagery that matches the music. I think they're very intertwined," which goes off to say that music and imagery goes hand in hand. If you could picture something by listening to lyrics, then that will lead you to have a preference over that, over a song that doesn't have much imagery in it. But this is not the only thing that keeps the audience entertained. The appearance of the artist also appeals to them. Recommendations. The amount of imagery included in any form of art or even through sports affects a person's preference dramatically. Examples of imagery evoke emotions of good times in your life, and your brain recalls those moments. In order for us to implement imagery in our everyday lives and allow it to better us, we would have to think about it more. People would have to actually know what imagery is and how to apply it into our everyday lives.